Hello, everybody, and welcome to another amazing episode of Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. We have an amazing show for you tonight. I'm super excited to have my guest. She is a wonderful queen that has a lot going on. So we're going to really talk about who she is and what she does and what she has coming up. But let me just tell you a little bit about this queen, and then we're going to move right into our show. So our guest for tonight is Miss Courtney Johnson. She was born and raised in Orangeburg, South Carolina. She has a love for writing and art, and she discovered that at the very young, tender age of 4 years old. Since then, she has been creatively through painting and freestyle writing and journaling. She attended the School of Orangeburg Public Schools. She also attended and received her undergraduate degree at South Carolina State University, which is also located in Orangeburg, South Carolina. She graduated from South University with a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. She is a mentor for youth in her community through her nonprofit, which is our Q.U.E.E.N.S Mentoring Group. She also enjoys impacting the lives of many, and soon there will be many, many more. Yes, Queen, I see that in your future. Coach Courtney is a certified transformational coach through the Power Hub Institute under Apostle Joshua Johnson. She is a two-time published author. She published her first book titled A Purposeful Journey, The Process of Enduring While Moving Towards a Meaningful Purpose, and an art and meditation reflection journal that goes along with her first book. She has also authored a second book called A Purposeful Journey Continues. The butterfly experience is an up-close and personal view of the process of operating within transformation. Courtney is the founder and CEO of Rich LLC, which stands for Royally Impacting Clients Holistically Coaching Services, where she helps women develop a growth mindset, establish productive holistic routine habits, and model strategies for achieving goals in order to live a life of purpose. So check out her introduction. Coming up on Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast.
Meet our guest this week, Miss Courtney Johnson. Speaker, coach, and best-selling author. She's a CEO, activist, and model. Be sure to tune in this Thursday night, May the 27th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we learn more about Miss Courtney Johnson right here on Kiva's Place. Welcome to Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. We hope that by the end of our show, you're left feeling empowered, motivated, and connected. So come on in the room. Grab your favorite drink. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Because you're finally at home at Kiva's Place.
And welcome back, family, to Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. So as promised, I'm going to bring to the stage Miss Courtney Johnson. So come on in the room, Queen. How are you?
I'm doing awesome and amazing. How are you?
I am blessed. I am blessed, and I'm super excited to have you. So thank you so much for agreeing to grace our stage tonight. I'm super excited to talk to you. Like you know, a lot of people look at me and think I have a lot going on, Queen. You
Yes.
are a busy lady. I'm so proud of you, though. I'm so proud of you. So let's give them a little bit of backstory and just introduce yourself for anything I did not mention, anything you want to share. So share with us a little bit of backstory of who Courtney Johnson is and how did you get here?
So, hi everyone. My name again is Courtney Johnson, and as you mentioned, I am from Orangeburg, South Carolina. And what many people do know me is I am a mom. I have three beautiful daughters, ages 13, 11, and 8. So I am very busy. Um, I am very active in my community. And I just love working with women, working with children, working with young girls, and just really getting out there. I have a master's degree, as you mentioned before, in mental health. So that puts me in a position to really focus and get people to think more about their mindsets and their thoughts and just being present in the moment. And so I just love just doing everything that God has allowed me to do in this moment, and we'll dive right into it in a little bit.
I love that about you. I love that about you. And first of all, you and I met because not only, which we are going to talk about a little bit later on, but not only is she a coach, she's a college graduate, she's a mother, she's a two-time published author, she's an artist, and that's how you and I met because I hired her to do a paint a sip with us, and you did a phenomenal job. So yes, so
Thank you.
she is an artist. So if you're looking for somebody with that expertise, definitely reach out to her. So we mentioned that you are a coach. How did you get into the coaching business? I know that you pretty much just said that you have a background in mental health. So did that actually give you the motivation to actually go into the coaching realm?
Yeah, so what happened was is I was in the process of actually pursuing licensure, and you know how you have that feeling of I just really want to help people now. And so in the midst of me studying and practicing for my licensure, it was brought to my attention to why not give coaching, life coaching, a try. And I looked at the two and I said, well, why not? It's still in the same sector, so it's still in the same industry. So I gave it a shot. It was a 12-week program, certification program under Apostle Joshua Johnson, who I still consider as my spiritual father and leader. And so I get much guidance from him, and I got much guidance from him in that process of becoming certified, where I was actually titled the class valedictorian for that particular cohort, which pushed me into really understanding how I was able to grasp the information, learn what it is I needed to learn so that I could birth my business, which is where Rich came from. And I just really wanted to impact people. So that's another reason why I wanted to provide Rich Impact. That was the original name, but then I kind of shifted off into Rich LLC, which is where we're at today. So that's kind of like how the process started. You know, I'm still pursuing licensure, which I am scheduled to actually take my tests sometime this year so that I can have my letters behind my name as a LPC. But in the meantime, I'm going to use what it is that I have in the capacity that I'm at now, which is still to help individuals who have somewhat of a phobia. You know, from our communities, a lot of people don't go to counselors and they don't seek therapy, but they will confide in a mentor or a coach, someone who knows a little bit about their life and their experiences. And so why not be used in that sector?
I love that. I love that a lot. And one thing too that I love about actually working with coaches is that a lot of coaches, I'm a coach also, but a lot of coaches also come not only with the certification, but that life experience is really
Right.
important when you are relatable and your clients can definitely draw from not only what you're teaching or what you're trying to work them through, but also let them know that a lot of us in this field has lived experiences. What
Absolutely.
what are some of the myths? Because there are a lot of myths surrounding mental health and the coaching, consulting realm. So are there any myths that you can think of off the top of your head that you would like to dispel?
That it can be fixed overnight. It is nothing that can be fixed overnight. It isn't a long process, and I like to look at it as a marathon. You have to be willing to condition, train, and run the race. It does not happen overnight. Your all your issues, all your problems will not go away within 1 or 2 sessions. Sometimes it takes 12 weeks. Sometimes it takes a whole year, but that individual has to be open to wanting to actually deal with it, because some of the stuff, and it goes back with therapy too, some of the stuff that you have to deal with is been rooted into you and it's been embedded into you for a very, very long time. So you cannot expect that those things to actually become uproot and you heal and move on like this. It does not work that way. And that's one of the myths where some individuals may feel like, oh, well, I booked a session. I'm good now. I can move on. It it's a healing process. It's a real transformation that you really have to just trust yourself through and just do the work.
And you just said the key, you have to trust yourself, you have to trust the process.
Right.
Is you really have to buy into the entire process and be willing to do the work, because it's not easy, especially when you're looking for true transformation. You have to be willing to be patient through the process, and be willing to dig your heels in and do the work.
Right. Absolutely.
Yep. So you are also a two-time published author. Tell us about your books and how did you get into writing?
Well, I wrote my first book in 2019, and that book took me approximately, hold your pants, 90 days to write, publish, illustrate, all that. And I self published that book only 90 days to get that done. And how I got to that process was I had to be set down, and I was going through a transitional place. I was leaving a job. God spoke to me, and I'm very spiritual, so I hope that's okay. But God
Yeah.
spoke to me, and He really told me and set me down and said, how many more people got to leave this earth before they get what's inside of you? And that hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was on a job, and He told me not to go back. I went back, I got injured, and I was out for 6 weeks. And in that moment, He said, you need to write. And so what I did was I started writing. And when I went back to the job after He told me not to go back, I was being disobedient. I went back and they released me that same exact day. And so I had no choice but to go home. But even in the process of being home, I was not just like sitting still. I babysat 6 to 10 kids on top of my own children during the process of writing. I I took a prophetic course with Joshua in the midst of writing. So I was always busy, but I was able to get that book done. And once I got it done, I was like, wow, I I'm an author. And so I sold that book, and I sold so many copies of that book. I can't even keep up on how many copies I sold of that book. But when it came down to the second book, it's like God was downloading things into me and He told me to write. And I was thinking, oh, this book is going to be so much easy. It's going to be easy like the last book. But that wasn't the case. That book took me through some things because I thought I could just, set a time frame and just start writing. Mm-mm. I had to go through life experiences. And when you read my books, there are real life experiences and revelations that I went through and experienced for real, for real. And I wrote about it in my book, from relationships to dealing with people to dealing with my children, just everything. And so when it got to a point where I really had to finish the book, because I started writing in about September, God sat me down in the beginning of December, and he was like, you will finish this book by the 31st. You would birth this book. And I remember when it got down to, it was like the last maybe 20 pages of that book that I had to type up. I can remember the pressure that I felt, almost as if I was giving birth. I mean, the pains were just out of this world. I called my gatekeeper, and because I have accountability partners who are gatekeepers, and those are the ones who actually, help me through to my transitional stage, and that's what I call them. And so I called my gatekeeper, and they were able, because I went into full panic mode. I had an anxiety attack sitting right there at the computer, and I was able to calm down. And once I calmed down, by 11 o'clock that night, that book was finished, and I was able to pass it on to my publisher, because I went through a publisher this time. And within 2 weeks of passing it to the publisher, it went to editors, and the whole graphic design, which was different, because I actually decided to put my face on the front of my book this time. And from there, I mean, it was published in March of this year, and I'm just excited because that book is 17 chapters of a portion of my life, of how I endured entering into transformation and just living in a transformed state. Not too many people talk about the actual process of transformation. They talk about the beginning and they talk about the end, but I gave you an inside view of what it feels like to enter into transformation, to actually walk that transformation out on a daily basis.
I had to give you a round of applause for that, because you just dropped a lot. The first book, you were saying that you not only wrote it, but you self-published it right out the gate. Like, how many people actually do that? And then on top of that, right? That's, Courtney, that's so impressive. And then on top of that, I love how, see, God is something else, because he's just proving us that the way that he moves, the way that his whole thought process is nothing compared to us. Because that second book, he makes sure that you were able to write your testimony, and make sure that you have content that people reading the book can definitely relate to. Because it's easy to just put some things on paper.
Right.
But when you're trying to evoke a certain message, a mandate, emotions behind it, you just said you had to go through certain situations, be able to make that book come to life. So yeah, I'm just so proud of you. Like, every time I see you, you just got something going on, and you just moving and shaking. And I had no idea that your first book was self-published. So kudos to you, Queen.
Thank you.
We're going to actually take a quick commercial break. We're not done with Miss Courtney Johnson yet. I told y'all that this was a phenomenal woman, okay? So we're actually going to talk a little bit about her other part of her life that she is newly, now correct me, because I don't want to misspeak what your title is, but you are Miss South Carolina Plus World?
Yes.
Girl.
2021. Yes, ma'am.
I had to give you the shock factor and the applause on that one, honey. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So listen, family, go ahead and grab your, or refresh your drink if you've already grabbed your drink. Don't go anywhere. We are not done with Miss Courtney Johnson yet. So stay tuned after this quick commercial break.
We are living in a digital age, and we think it's safe to say that all businesses are needing to transition from traditional brick and mortar to broadcast. Everything is really about data collection and building a community. EasyWay Broadcasting has created a social network/solution provider within the EasyWay network to help its members with this transition. Introducing the EasyWay Wall of Fame, a one-stop shop for business owners and influencers that help them to connect, grow, learn, and scale the easy way. Over the years, we have been building affiliates and partnerships in all genres. That means our platform utilizes all our members' businesses to provide services at a much lower cost, help sell their service, and promote their awareness to more potential customers. Through our new media empire, we have a reach to millions. Become an affiliate. Make money doing it the easy way. Create your free account today by visiting easywaywalloffame.com. Accelerate your influence through direct access to the right influencers. We have many TV shows that our members can be interviewed by. We have our own magazine and radio station to promote our EasyWay Wall of Fame members' profiles, which they control. The more friends you get, the bigger your business will grow. Join the EasyWay Wall of Fame community for free today.
Welcome to Inner Peace and Serenity with your host, speaker, coach, facilitator, Jeannie Muhammad. Join us every first Thursday of the month, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we talk everything self-improvement. So take back your pen, take back your life, right here on Kiever's Place. Are you struggling with hair growth and no matter what you do, your hair just won't grow? Then I introduce to you the Q.U.E.E.N.S Naturals Hair Growth Serum. This growth serum is a proprietary blend of natural oils and essential oils and has proven results to jumpstart your hair growth process in as little as 30 days. Pair this hair growth serum with our Renew and Restore healing oil and is guaranteed to treat any conditions such as eczema, psoriasis, ringworms, and more. Visit our website today for these great products and all of our natural hair care line at www.Q.U.E.E.N.SNaturals.com. Again, that's www.Q.U.E.E.N.Naturals.com.
And welcome back to Kiever's Place, the Kiever Murdoch Show and podcast. So we're going to continue our interview with Miss Courtney Johnson. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her back in the room. Hi again, Queen. Glad you're hanging in there with us.
Thank you for having me. It's exciting.
Listen, this is truly my pleasure. So like we were talking about, Courtney, before the break, I want to get into how in the world you found time to become a model, which when I think of model and when I think of the platform on which you just graciously won, you automatically become an activist, and that what people don't realize. So tell me a little bit, first of all, about how you actually got the motivation to get into that, and what did that process look like for you?
Okay, so funny thing is, when I was a very little girl, I used to watch the Miss America pageant, the Miss Universe pageant, the Miss USA pageant, and it's like that thought of one day I wish I could do that. So as I got older, my mom never really had the time to put me in pageants. I can recall being in one pageant, and it was back in '94. But I can honestly tell you, I don't remember the pageant. All I remember is the picture that my mom had of me, where I came up as a runner up, fourth runner up, and I have a trophy that still remind me like I still have that trophy. But I never really did pageantry. But it was something that as a little girl I thought of. It died away, and I started seeing like family members get into pageantry, run for queens and things of that nature. And it wasn't until this year, while on social media, I was looking at some beautiful Black women who were plus size, and they were out here killing it in the pageantry. And I was like, And I commented on the picture and I said, one day I wish I could do that. The director jumped in my inbox and said, I would love to recruit you. Let's have a talk. And it was on from there. I signed the contract a day later and showed up for practice, paid my money.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. After winning the pageant, I actually did some research on modeling because they were saying, this is a doorway. And I was like, okay, so I can possibly become a model and an actress in this. Let's see. Because my talent for the pageant was actually a monologue and I sung. And so I said, I got some skills, I can remember some lines. And so I did my research, and that's when I found Bella Modeling Agency here in Columbia, South Carolina. And I sent in an inquiry, laying in bed one morning after meditation, and I just did it off pure faith. 2 weeks after I sent that application, that inquiry in, saying, I was inquiring about it, 2 weeks after that, they called me in for an interview. And I was like, oh, okay. So this about to be real. And I went in, I killed the interview. Like, I believe I did amazing. And so they said, well, we'll give you a call by the end of this week. I said, okay. I didn't get a phone call. So I was like, okay. God said, wait. And so me in the place of being obedient right now, I said, okay. But then that next day he said, call them. And so I called them and they was like, well, we haven't came across your application yet, your file, but we'll check into it and let you know. 5 minutes later, I was in traffic on 26 and the lady called me right back. God whispered in my ear, brace yourself. Because again, I was on 26 in standstill traffic. And I was like, oh, Lord, I don't know what this is going to be. And she said, well, you just called. And I just want to let you know, we're going to go ahead and add you to our modeling family. And from there on, I was a part of the Bella Modeling Agency. And when I tell you doors are opening, just from me saying yes and being committed, and just being confident and believing in myself, that's how it happened.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that whole process did not even take very long for you either, correct?
No. All of it within a month or two.
That's
within a couple of weeks. It was just within a couple of weeks because I signed the pageant. I signed my contract in February. The pageant was March 20th. 2 weeks after that, I was interviewing for the modeling agency. And then by the end of that week, I was modeling. I was in there. I was in there.
wow.
And I just believe that when God positions you and when you're really obedient and just operating out of what it is that he's calling for you, what you may think will be a delay will actually be suddenly, and it'll actually happen faster and rapidly, more rapidly than you would actually think. So what could take someone 2, 3, 4, 5 years can actually be recovered time for you, because people don't know the seeds or the tears or the trauma or the pain that you went through years ago, that actually God is just reclaiming and restoring and putting all that back on you. So, and I say all that because just a couple of days ago, I felt like, God reminded me, and it gave me the feeling of I'm living in reclaimed time. If that makes sense to anybody who's actually watching, it's like I'm living in reclaimed times because so much time has gone by, but he has reclaimed and redeemed all that time that I thought has passed, and everything that happened, that I thought should have happened a long time ago. He's like, okay, now now, and it's just happening without effort. It's effortlessly happening, and I'm just so grateful for the position and the transformation and the place of, you know, actually being able to go through my process in order for me to get to this spot.
And that's what people don't realize, Courtney, is you have to put your time in, right? And
Right.
just because things doesn't occur when we think things should occur doesn't mean that your delay is a denial. And
Right.
somebody needs to hear that. Your delay of your prayers, your tears, your, sacrifices, your trials and tribulations, you are going through all of those seasons for a reason. And
Mm-hmm.
just because you may not see it, you may not even understand it. You may not even be able to wrap your mind around half the things you
Ooh.
may be enduring or walking through right now. But somebody needs to hear that just because you are in this season at this moment doesn't mean that you will be there always. And Courtney is an example of that. And like she says, she had to put her time in. And God tests us, right?
Mm-hmm.
He allow us to go through. Look at the story of Job. And I know this is, don't get me to preaching, y'all. But look at the story of Job and all that he had to endure, but still yet God still restored him, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
we still have to and we are not exempt from long suffering. Matter of
Ooh.
fact, it is almost guaranteed that we are going to have seasons of long sufferings. But
You
what
will.
do we do through that process? And you put your time in, you stay faithful, you stay prayerful, you position yourself in such a way that once you were outside of that and he opened the floodgates, you were positioned to be able to receive it. Right?
Listen.
Girl,
Listen.
what we doing?
Ooh. Child. I have, listen, I am just so grateful for all of the opportunities and the doors that are opening and just everything, just being in position. That was my word for 2021, was position, because all I wanted last year was to be intentional with everything that I did. And this year, God just told me, as long as I'm in position, as long as I'm seated at his feet, as long as I'm seeking him, and as long as I'm being obedient, as long as I'm being, disciplined in my actions and my habits, everything will work and I won't have to work for it. Everything will work and I won't have to work for it. And I try to let those who I encounter on a daily basis that it's not the fact that you're going through things, because guess what? If you're living this life and you're living it in the purpose and you're within your purpose, you're going to experience things. How you deal with those things, how you respond to those things, will determine your outcome. And if your mind is not set positively on coming out of it, then you're going to keep going in a continuous cycle over and over and over again. So if I can live my life as a testimony that no matter what you go through, what you experience, what you got to deal with, you just got to make sure your mind is positioned to receive the abundance. That's what you have an abundance mindset. You got to have an abundant mindset. Law of attraction is very, very real. So what you speak, what you say, what you listen to, what you see has a fact of coming back to you. And I have to get to a place of understanding that I can't just speak, listen, talk to, hang with any and everybody. I can't speak those
No.
type of things over my life. So, that's whew, just grateful.
Amazing. Oh, amazing, Queen. Child, you done preached the whole sermon. A whole message past the collection plate. And that's so true. We have the power to speak blessings over ourselves, or you can speak curses over yourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and we are challenged you know, through certain situations as a test to see how are we going to deal with it. You know,
Right.
but yeah, you just said a mouthful. It's about manifestations.
Mm, yes.
Manifestation. Hashtag somebody manifestations. Say it, speak it, believe it, and start walking in it.
I think one of your pictures that you have of me is where I have on there think, envision, manifest. Because what you think, you have the power to envision, and what you envision, you have the power to manifest. If you can think it, then you can see it, know that it's already attached to you, and you just have to manifest it and bring it into fruition. So that's what I want people to understand, that if I can think it up here and I can dream about it and I can physically see it with my eyes, that visualization, then I know that it's already attached to me and I can actually bring it into, I can really manifest it and bring it into fruition. But you got to be careful with that, because sometimes we can manifest things that we're not in position to receive yet.
That's right.
So you got to be careful when you get to that place. And that comes with a place of, transformation. If you're walking in your purpose and you're living a transformed mind, sometimes, just being able to think about certain things, you'd be like, wow, I wonder if that could happen. Just like what I said, about me being in the pageant. Like, I had no idea that I was going to be recruited right then and there. That was just me thinking out loud, and someone saw it, and then we manifested it. So
Hmm.
you just know that you got to be in position for whatever it is that you think and envision for your life. And that's being able to tap into your higher self. Your higher self is up there in that high frequency and high vibrations. And, I hope everyone is able to follow me, because I get up there sometimes. But just being at a higher level and higher frequency, your higher self, the one that's living their best life, is up there living their best life. But you have the ability to tap into that and live it right now today. And that's what I wake up feeling every morning, like I'm going to live my best life, because my higher self is not going to live her life without me. We're going to live that life together. And so every day I'm experiencing new things with my higher self, living my richest life.
I love it. I love it. Powerful queen, girl. You are just dropping gems. I hope you guys are just taking notes and writing all of this down. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Let's talk about, because I know, and we are over time, but let's talk about your book. So I know that, okay, you have a website, and I know that you have your book on the website. They can also purchase your book on Amazon as well, correct?
Right. They can.
Okay, so if you are wanting to learn more about Courtney's books, and tell us about your second book, because I know we talked about your first one, but what do you want to leave with them uh, in regards to your second book?
So everything that I just talked about, higher self, higher vibrations, just being a part of your process, understanding that people gonna come, people gonna go, things of that nature, transformation, revelation. If that's what you're seeking, then that second book is exactly what I give you. I give you real life experiences, real life revelation, and my whole transformation process of, some low moments where I felt like I needed to have, I know one of the chapters is called Where's Your Momentum, Mommy? And that basically, I think it's chapter 14, where I talked about how my kids look up to me so much. They watch me. My youngest tells me all the time, Mommy, I want to be just like you. And we have to understand as parents that these children are watching us as guides. And God give us and makes us examples so that we can lead them. So a lot of the things that I'm experiencing, being a model, being a speaker, stepping into acting. My oldest daughter wants to do it. She actually started in it before me. And she's watching me go through these experiences. So when it comes to where's your momentum, mommy, sometimes I get tired. I do a lot. But I understand that my momentum comes from actually just knowing my children are watching me, and I cannot drop the ball. I cannot let them be the reason why I don't do certain things. So if you see me hustling and you see me moving and shaking, it's because I have some people that's watching me, and I am their first example. And so with this second book, it's full of, like I said, transformation. It's full of revelation. It's full of just me living at a higher level than I was in book one. Now I'm gonna tell you, if you haven't read book one, you might want to get book one so you can understand how I went from struggles to transformation, and then read book two, because book two takes you through my transformation process. And like I said, the journey continues. It's a butterfly experience. I'm unfolding, I'm taking flight, and I'm enjoying the ride.
That's amazing. And I'm super, super proud of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to grab copies of her book, like she said, she strongly recommends you start with book one and then moving on to book two. So, visit her website at richllc.org/journey bookstore. Again, that's richllc.org/journey bookstore. Or you can look her up on Amazon. You can find her book there as well. Queen, I know that you do a lot. So I want to know, because it's really important to make sure that we as women, we as queens, are taking care of ourselves. So I want to ask you, Courtney, what is it that you do to unwind, to relax, to take the load off? How do you decompress?
Well, I sit in my car.
Sometimes
to
that's
be
necessary.
to be honest, I sit in my car because it's a quiet place. I'm able to hear from God. I'm able to meditate. Another thing that I do is, I haven't done it in a while, but I journal. Well, not journal, but I haven't painted in a while. So I've been getting the push and the pull to pull my brushes and my canvases back out, and to really go back into my art therapy and just use that as a wind down. But most of the time, what I've been incorporating now is I sit in my car, I sit outside, I just take in nature. Sometimes, I take naps. I just relax. Sometimes I don't answer my phone. I don't have on no TV, no radio, just quiet and just peacefully. So that's self-care is a big thing to me. Tomorrow is actually Friday, and I do have self-care Fridays where I try not to do any work on those days, unless it's something like a major event or anything, which I do have a book signing on Saturday. So I'll try to finish up everything I need to do for that tonight so that I can be properly rested on tomorrow to just relax. And that's what I do.
Well, it sounds like you definitely have coping, not really mechanism, but things in place to make sure that you are taking care of you. And I just
Positive
wanted
routine
to,
habits.
right, exactly, exactly. And it's so important sometimes that we just remind each other that it's okay to take some time off. I had to really structure my schedule to where I'm not always available all the time. Every time somebody picks up the phone, like now,
Mhm.
you really have to contact me through my calendar link,
Mhm.
because you have to kind of create those boundaries so that you're not pulled in. So it's bad enough as a CEO, and congratulations for now being a full-time CEO and entrepreneur. So congratulations on that. But now it's even more important that you make sure that your time, your day, your calendar is more structured, because you can lose a sense of time, you can lose a sense of yourself, because you're literally pulled in so many different directions. And for some, it's easier said than done, but I had to realize that it was a necessity for my sanity, you know.
Right.
So I'm just glad to hear that you do have things in place to keep you rejuvenated.
I learned to use the word no. I say no to a lot of things, even to myself. So, knowing I have the authority and the power to say no, that has changed the game a lot. A lot. I think people respect me more because I cherish my time and my value a whole lot more because I say no to certain things. No, I'm not going to do it. No, I don't want to do it. No, I'm not going to answer my phone. So I set boundaries and those things in place and just learn to operate out of power. No.
I love it. I love it. Um, Really quickly, so I know that you have a book signing coming up, so I definitely want you to let our viewers know about, well, this particular picture I wanted to pop up too, to again congratulate you on winning Miss SC Plus World 2021.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. But tell us about your upcoming meet and greet.
Yes, so at this meet and greet, I'm excited. This is my first personal event for the year. I plan to do more, but this book signing is just me being able to open myself up to my community to let them know, hey, I am an author, a published author. I am a motivational speaker and mentor to those in my community, as well as your South Carolina Plus Queen coming straight out of Orangeburg, South Carolina, the first. And so I just want everyone to be able to come out and celebrate this moment, to hear about my platform and to hear about what it is that I am looking to do and to get some insight so that I can be able to share it with those who I am partnering with in the future so that we can have a clear understanding on how we are able to help the people from my position and my platform here in the community and so that they can be also to get my book. And so it's from 2 to 4 at the Randolph's Italian Ice on Chestnut Street in Orangeburg. And if you're in the area, please feel free to stop by.
And that address in Orangeburg is 950 Chestnut Street. That's in Orangeburg, South Carolina. 950 Chestnut Street, Orangeburg. And for more information, you can call 803-997-0770. Again, that number is 803-997-0770. So if you are in the area, please stop by and support Courtney Johnson. Buy her books. And she is also soliciting feedback for her platforms. And we did not talk about your platform either. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
So my state local platform is helping and assisting, educating women and young girls on anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts and habits and behaviors. The reason why is because, as I may have mentioned before, I have suffered with all three. Um, and as we talk about trauma and we talk about depression, we talk about anxiety, we always talk about it from the struggle standpoint, but no one really gives it the testimony of talking about how do you overcome. And so my platform is basically my state and local platform is basically focused on just educating women and young girls about the signs and how do you overcome it and what does it look like. And I'm a perfect example of what it looks like to really overcome those particular areas. um and that's what that is. My platform, you know it's surrounded by around mental health, just getting those, because a lot of people don't seek the help that they need, or they're afraid, or they're you know thinking that people are going to judge them. And I want women and young girls, especially teenage girls, even as young as age 6 or 7, to feel comfortable with understanding your emotions, your thoughts, and your feelings, and not thinking that, oh, it's something wrong with you and that no one will understand. Because I once was in that place where I felt like no one understood where I was. And it's only because I wasn't educated and understood where I was. And when I got educated and understood, that is resources and people out there to assist you, such as life coaches, counselors, ministers, mentors. You got to be willing to talk with people. You got to be authentic with people, true with people. And that comes with really discovering, wanting to discover who you are.
Perfectly said, perfectly said. And that is so true. And that's a very important platform. And it's a much needed platform. And it's a conversation that needs to, especially in our community, because we know that mental health is still, even in the midst of everything that goes on, is still such a taboo topic. So we definitely need to push resources and education in our community. So I just thank you for just being willing and just using your platform to bring awareness. Awesome. Courtney, this has been amazing. I have thoroughly enjoyed you, Queen. I'm going to we need to let them know how to get in contact with you. If you wanted to reach Courtney, definitely, again, reach her on her website. You can visit www.richllc.org. You can also go to her Facebook page. She has a profile, but she also has a page. So her page is Miss Courtney Johnson, and that's MS, Miss Courtney Johnson. Or you can reach her Facebook profile at Courtney Johnson. So you can definitely reach her there. She has a couple of Instagrams accounts, so you can reach her at Courtney Johnson 03. Again, that's at, and I misspelled her name. Is let me correct that, because I want to make sure that they go to the correct. I have an extra N in there. All right, so let me put the correct Instagram up there so we can make sure that you guys find her. So you can go to at Courtney Johnson 03, or you can visit her modeling profile at Bella, and Bella is spelled BELLAH, model Courtney J. Amazing, amazing. So any final words, Queen, you would like to leave with our viewers? The floor is yours.
I want to thank everyone who decided to join in on today. If you are experiencing anything, if you feel like you have reached stumbling blocks or roadblocks or any type of setback, do know that you have the power to manifest and think about and birth what it is that you desire for your life. Take control of what it is that you have control of, and everything else, let it fall where it falls. Live this life purposefully, meaningfully, and you will be successful. Thank you for tonight.
Well said, well said. Thank you so much, Queen, for an amazing time. I have enjoyed you tonight, and you are welcome anytime at Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. In fact, I would love to have you back so that we can definitely dive more into the mental health aspect of what it is of your platform and also of your specialty. Because like I said earlier, it is something that is definitely much needed. So if you are willing to come back and join us for another segment later on in the season, I would love to have you.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hang tight. Amazing, amazing, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed our show tonight and our wonderful guest, Miss Courtney Johnson. I told y'all she was amazing, and she definitely has a lot going on. So again, if you like to reach out to her, get to know more about her books that she has, and about her book signing that she has coming up this weekend, you can definitely visit her website at www.richllc.org. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate you, and continue to just share, connect, and glow, because we understand that growing your network also grows your net worth. So thank you so much for just joining us tonight. We greatly appreciate you. We love you all, and continue to love each other and take care of each other. So until next week, thank you so much. Have a blessed night. Bye.
Thank you for watching Kiva's Place, the Q.U.E.E.N Murdoch Show and Podcast. Tune in every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Q.U.E.E.N.S Place. To be a guest on our show, text the word guest to 803-368-3030 or visit us at tinyurl.com/Q.U.E.E.N.S Place Booking. And watch us on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire as we're broadcasting in more than 60 million homes worldwide.